This last game against Oregon State, kind of dominated by that funky play, I guess, in the conversation post game. But what do you kind of take? What were kind of your takeaways about the team and how they play based on this last game you played against them?
Our team?
Oregon State.
No. I think that was one play. It was toward the end of the game. We were making a run. At the end of the day, that play was a 1 point play. We got one of the two free throws on the technical foul and didn't score. So I think a lot was made of it. Unfortunately, it was kind of a slow news day, so it was a national story. But we struggled against their zone. We weren't very good. I'm watching the game right now again the second time, and weren't very good offensively. We missed some open shots, but we weren't playing very good basketball at that time. And I think they got a couple different versions of a zone that give us some trouble, and we're gonna have to be much better, obviously, second time around at their place.
Larry, would you say that you and Wayne are very similar in the way you coach, or is it like coaching against yourself, or are you guys different, or does it depend on personnel, or how would you size up the matchup there?
Well, I've never really been around Wayne when he coached. He was on our staff and was real helpful, as an assistant. But he's a solid guy. As I look at their team, I think the old adage about the apple not falling far from the tree. I mean, we both played for the same coaches growing up, and I think we were taught in college what we both feel like is the right way to play basketball. So when I look at their team, offensively, defensively, I think we probably coach on the same principles. I don't know behind the scenes, in terms of communicating and different things, techniques that he uses, but I think we're probably in X's and O's wise and philosophy wise, we're probably coaching the same things. And he's done a great job. Back to your question, Kyle, it's a team that returned everybody from a year ago, so they've got a lot of guys that have played some minutes and some leadership on the team, and Peyton certainly gives them he's the head of the snake that makes them all go and kind of gives them a little bit of a swagger. But Wayne's a friend and highly respected. We go back a long way, and I'm not surprised at all that he's got Beaver Nation up and excited and rocking and rolling.
In light of what you view this team's potential to be, how do you think they've developed to this date in the season, and how much unrealized potential do you think is still there?
Well, I think that potential word's pretty overused. We just keep grinding and try to get a little bit better. I don't know how good we can be or what we're going to be defined as. That's something you look back on. I always encourage our guys to not have any regrets. That's in sports, there's nothing worse than being defined as somebody that, boy, you sure had a lot of potential, but you didn't amount to anything. And so to avoid those regrets, I think we focus on a daily basis of just coming and working really hard and being focused and trying to get better each and every day. And in light of the idea that you want to, if you keep doing that consistently, whether it's over the course of 1 year or maybe 5 years, you'll have some ebb and flow and up and down, but you hope that the graph is trending upward. And we want to be playing our best basketball at this time or toward the end of the season, and hopefully have learned some mistakes and learned from our mistakes. And that's the main thing. We keep challenging. We can't get complacent, and you can't be satisfied with where you are, but keep chopping wood basically, and trying to get better.
You're at the midway point of conference play. How you've gotten a chance to play some of the Pac-12 teams now. How do you feel about where you guys sit one game out of first, and about the other teams in the league that are sort of right around you in terms of the standings?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. We haven't played 4 of the teams in our conference. We've played 7 of the 11. So, at the halfway point, it's maybe not normal to get a good dose of what's going on. And I think each of us have our own challenges and obstacles, and Oregon has put themselves in a position where they've garnered some road wins, and they're at the head of the pack. Beyond that, maybe to use the analogy of golf, it's like making the turn after 9 holes and you're in the clubhouse, and you go out and you try to hit a good shot on the 10 tee box, right? And not give too much thought about where we are. I guess I've never been a leaderboard kind of guy, watcher, and I've said all along that we'll pay pretty close attention to where we fit in after 18 games in terms of who it is we play in Vegas to start with, and we'll have a better understanding for 4 of those other teams by then. But more of just trying to focus on what we can control, and not assessing the whole league. And in this situation, it's trying to figure out a way to be competitive against Oregon State and put ourselves in a position to win that game. That's about as complicated as I try to make it.
Are there any specific challenges of playing in Corvallis, the arena, the atmosphere, or is it all about the X's and O's on the court?
Well, I mean, it's a hostile road environment. It's an older style gym where the crowd's right on top of you. It's a high energy place. I think it's the challenges I see more specifically are probably going to be correlated with what they do as a team, and the challenges they provide on the basketball court. But it's really no place that's easy to win on the road, and you kind of loop that. A year ago, I think maybe we were the only team that beat them on their court, so they did a heck of a job of preserving their home court. I don't think they've lost many games this year there either. So it's kind of the same correlation you have with most teams in our league right now. Is teams are doing a nice job of protecting their home environment, and again, Wayne's done a nice job of getting that fan base riled up. They've had a few down years, and there's an awful lot of support and excitement in Corvallis. So that in itself is a challenge.